Yes, sir.
Welcome to the Highly Educated
Yo, we in there.
Podcast.
We in there. What's going on, y'all?
Yeah, what's good? What's good?
What's
We
going
back.
on? It's your boy, Coach.
Your boy Bambino, and this is the Highly Educated Podcast. Today we have
Yes, yes.
today we have a local issue, and with this local issue, it's very near and dear, I would say, to us because we come from that system and we understand the problems in that system as well as what's going on there because we've talked about it since you and I have known each other. So today's topic is the turmoil of St. Louis Public Schools, which we will be calling it SLPS throughout this podcast. How they're closing schools, but at the same time as they're closing schools, charter schools is going up. So I would like Coach to start it off.
So basically, we went over this article, and it's essentially talking about how it's closing schools and it's losing its competition. It's the charter schools, and the article kind of pointed out that since 2007, it's saying that it went from being 60-40, where SLPS was had the majority, and now it's flipped. And even more interesting, it talked about what the demographics of the charter school inside, the students that it was serving. And it kind of talks about how it's a more of a variety, some would say. And it also talks about how charter schools do receive funding from the state, but a private board governs them, And I think lastly in the article, it was just pointing out how they don't perform any really better. They kind of perform a little bit better, the charters, that is. And SLPS is trying to go to court and put something together where they will stop the movement or the growth of the charter school in a way, so that way they can kind of secure more funding. What would your take on it?
My take on it was similar to yours, but when you look at SLPS, not the school per se, but just look at the St. Louis community from north, south, east, and west. Population gone, then disappeared. Now, within that article, you could say DSIG had a problem with it, charter school was a problem with it, but the number one problem was community. You know, and I know, charter schools was like a mythical creature. You heard about them, but you didn't see them as much. Now you come to St. Louis, you see more charter schools than you see St. Louis public schools. But at the same time, it's about population, enrollment. So in the article, it talked about Clay Elementary, right? Clay Elementary, I'm gonna share my screen, learning stuff. I'm gonna share my screen. If it goes to it, I'm gonna share my screen to show you what I'm talking about. It says Clay Elementary School in Hyde Park neighborhood will shut down this summer, displacing 128 children from school built for 3 times as many. 1/2 mile away, just 89 students attend the Arch Community Charter School. That's what I'm saying. The school that's closing is supposed to hold 3 times as many children as it does right now. But just 1/2 of a mile, there's a whole school holding 89 kids. Why aren't those 89 kids in that elementary school that's in that community? That's my whole issue. Charter schools split communities. You know as well as I know, as family community specialists, which we will say FCS because that's what we've known it as. We were always told, increase your parental and community support by 1%. Come on now, 1%, that means bringing one parent in per year. But with these charter schools, who are, as it states, they are what, funded, they're publicly funded. Meaning, for people who don't understand what charter schools mean by publicly funded, they'll put a school in your school district, and that school district basically paying them to house your kids. Community. These parents and these children get to these charter schools, and they be more involved in that. When they was in St. Louis public schools, they weren't involved. It's involvement. It's involvement in population. What else? What would you say?
I think one of the reasons why you see folk like that leaving, and this is just me speaking from a personal opinion right here. I think a lot of distrust, a lot of fractured relationships, over time, over history. You can have a lot of families going through, one public school system and not have a good rapport or good fond memories. You know what I'm saying? And that's one factor that leads to folks branching off. I think another factor is, and you spoke on that, the parental involvement is a huge component. What it looks like, what it feels when parents enter into the building. A lot of these charter schools, like I said just previously, they're governed by a board, a private board, and then they're even backed a lot of times by like the art school in the article that's right close to Clay is backed by UMSL. You know what I'm saying? It's having like the North Side Community School. I think that's partnered with MICDS, right near off of Euclid. You know what I'm saying? Like these partnerships and these funding, they go hand in hand. If you get ones that work well together, you feel it is what I'm saying. It tends to lead to just a better community, a better school. Like you said, we know parental involvement is huge. That's huge. That's how you get your consumers, your parents, how you get them out to assess whether the folks that they because pretty much these school teachers, anybody that's a public education, they work for the taxpayers. You know what I mean? Because those taxpayers are paying. So it's really more like if you went into a restaurant, are you getting what you asked for, or your put it that way, because your children are the recipients of the education. So I think, like you said, it's sad, but we're starting to see that, and I think we're going to continue to see that because it's all about the relationships you build. I've seen some places and some buildings where people are in positions of power, and they've been there for years, and it has severely fractured the brand of the district and severely fractured the brand of the school. I mean, what you think, man?
I'm a tackle your tax thing. If I said this since we've left SLPS and came out to where we at. Where we at, we know the property taxes go to the school district out here. My thing is this. Where are the property taxes going in St. Louis City? I bet you a grand right now. Not another parent can tell you where they property taxes. But we work at now. Oh, them parents will tell you, I voted to increase. So once I increase my taxes, that means my school district should be supplying more technology, more educational needs, more support. You don't know where those taxes are going, or if you even pay your taxes. It gives room for money to be manipulated. Now, we can say one of the true reasons the school is closing is because they're not really educating these kids for the next level. I bet you Clay don't have every technology system that they're supposed to have. Hell, I bet you St. Louis Public Schools don't have all the technology that they should have to compete with other districts in this area. Just like this, I'm gonna share my screen again. I got something else for you. Now, there was another article, hold on, where I want you to see, the name of this article was SLPS loses students as charters expand. Here's the thing. They had an increase in enrollment in 2013 after the Imagine Academy's charter schools closed. That was in 2013. That's the only increase that a major city has had for education in the schools? Come on. Look at this chart. Look, this is 2012, 2013. The blue is the charter line. The orange is SLPS. Look at that jump. Now look at the decline. Now we're looking at 2016 right now. Charter went up. Now look at it. Charter's still going up. As charter goes up, look, 2019. Look at SLPS. Come on, look at this. What does that say? What does that say? Who needs the answer to this? Does it need to be the superintendent of SLPS? You know and I know. We've seen a lot more
the competition
than we could
snuffed
say.
them out, fam.
What'd you say? What'd you say,
I
Coach?
said the competition snuffed them out, fam.
But see, remember the DSEG program. We know why that was invented.
Competition's out.
Yeah, but see, we know why the DSEG program was invented. But since it's as incinerated, now you have what's left over of the DSEG program. You know and I know where we work at now. 90% of them kids don't even want to be out here. So why are we not looking for the 90% that do want to be out here? Here's the thing I say about that. The majority of the kids that come out from the city to the county, parents involved in none in the school district out in the county. They don't attend no PTO meetings. Hell, the school district has their own parent-teacher conference in the city for the whole district, and still only 3 parents come. So you got that same negativity in SLPS where you weren't helping the community schools your kids was at. You done brought that same energy out here, but then you want to argue when they don't do nothing for you. St. Louis public schools won't do nothing for you, but since this place has the funding, you expect that. No, we expect your help with this.
Hey, what happened? The competition snuffed them out. That's what happened, man. We gonna take it and break it down. We gonna break it down to, like, I don't know why I'm on this food trip right now. We gonna break it down and take it to where, if you get a new restaurant that comes around and the old restaurant that you was visiting, ain't kind of giving you what you need, you speaking to all of that, and the monkey wrench in all of this is when we look at performance, because it's all about the numbers. When you look at performance, charter schools ain't really performing no better than SLPS. I think what we're learning right now is schools that thrive in certain districts have figured out that it's an all-encompassing package. It's all-encompassing. It's like when you go to a Chase Park Plaza or one of those hotels that are of high quality. You want everything in the district. You know what I mean? You just don't want good test scores. You want a great rapport. You know what I mean? And it sounds like these schools have developed great community reports, and sounds like the community is raving about it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Similar to if you go over to SLPS, the consumers are going to say how they feel. They leaving their reviews also as well. Because at the end of the day, I think we're seeing now more than ever, education, I don't want to say it's niche. It's about a niche as far as when you're selecting your districts, but it's always kind of been like this. But you definitely want a district that, or a school, I'm going to say that makes you feel safe, welcoming. And, I keep going back to this, but you got to keep in mind, there's a lot of folks, that
Where
are
you
in
at?
these places, and they
Breaking up a little bit.
You say who?
You was breaking up a little bit.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, right there.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, right there.
It's just, I mean, the fact that you keep a lot of folks around, you don't change up who's in the buildings. Maybe if they start shuffling around roster orders, maybe if they start infusing different characteristics into these folks' character training and et cetera, because it's a lot of distrust. The reason why you see people leaving it, and it looks like it was 19,000 that left.
Mm-hmm.
But that's pretty much what you're seeing right now. And the charter schools got their formula. They got the recipe that everybody wants. They think they want. And I'm not knocking charter schools at all, because there's some great charter schools. But
well, let me tackle one thing that you said. You said the safety. Well, look at this. Look at what just happened. Past couple of days, we just had inclement weather. St. Louis Public Schools didn't even close. They put their own workers in danger. Everybody else around them closed to make sure that everyone was safe. But they did another article on SLPS about how they didn't cancel school. The staff was in accidents, putting their life in danger. Same time they're doing that, there's nothing backing them. That causes teachers or staff members or educators to say, you know what, I'm not teaching these kids. The board or the district don't care about me. I'm not going to care about these kids. Do you see it as that? Bobby, I can't hear you.
Hold on, I'm having some technical issues. Give me 1 second.
Okay. But at the same time, I see things like this.
Yeah, they don't, it's twofold, fam. It's just like you just said. We got on one hand the consumers, the reviewers, and then you got the workers. If everybody's griping and everybody is not happy and you hear murmurings, nobody's going to want to be around that environment. Not the students, not the people working there. And they just create a toxic environment, man, where you got folks at the top who they thrive off of chaos and disorganization.
Ooh, you use that word,
you know what I'm saying?
chaos.
And that's just what they do, man. They're like, that's just what they do. That's the culture there. And they don't want it to change. Because if they did, they would bring folks that have been through the school system, that's educated. Why don't you bring folks that's actually been there? You know what I'm saying? Walk through the halls. Maybe they would care a little bit more. Maybe don't bring folks from out of state.
Not only that, how about since we both left SLPS and, went somewhere else and got some more training, got, more certifications behind us. We've applied for jobs at SLPS that says deans of students. But then once we get the email back, it says we don't qualify. How we don't qualify when that's the job we doing right now? You and I know we would love to be in our own community, helping the community. But when it comes to the districts, they don't even want that type of support from the community. Say that. You muted.
What was that question? I couldn't hear you. Say that one more time. It was breaking up.
I said, would you say that we We have all the certification and the training to be dean of students because that's what we really do now. But when we do the application to SLPS, they say we don't qualify. I don't think they want somebody from that community to really help the community.
No, they looking for a certain type of candidate. There we go. That's the HR word. They're looking for the right kind of candidate, so that way it can benefit them. They only want folks that's certified and that have a limited. I ain't gonna say limited, but they only want. I'm gonna leave it at this. They only want certified folk, so that way they can push them into the pipeline, teaching to principals to admin. I think, in my opinion, the system needs to change in education because they look at support staff as the help. You know what I'm saying? That's anywhere. I feel like, in my opinion, anywhere you go, they're gonna look at the folks that's certified as a little more highly esteemed, and maybe rightly so they should. I guess because of their accolades, because of what they worked and earned. But then you have folks that is also, you know what I'm saying, and folks is also they certified as, I mean, not certified, they have the credentials as well, the same credentials, but some folks could not want to involve themselves in that. As far as the rigors and the stresses of teaching and the demands of teaching, some people might, choose to want to be in a support staff role. So I think they got to even the odds a little bit more all around also.
Here's another question. When was the last time you went to a SLPS school? Like, you really went in the building, saw the staff. Last time I was in there was like, 2021? I want to say I was there 2019. When I walked in the building, I had to ask the principal there. I said, man, what happened to your staff? He says, well, this was the best options I had. Now, we talk about diversity all the time. But when you walk into a school that's predominantly in the hood, I have no high number of African American teachers in that building. Come on. Most of the teachers are white, and then you wonder why these kids.
That get back to what I'm saying, dog. It's they know what they're doing. It's no coincidence. You're looking for a certain type of candidate, and most candidates that have some common sense about the whole, situation, they're going to assess who they're trying to work for. And I know a lot of folks that they'll use that either as a stepping stone, or they don't plan to be there alone. Even those that do enter in through, it's really I said, you really got to think of it as how the charter schools are doing it. It's more of a business kind of thing now. And that's really what education is. That's really what education is.
Money.
The charter schools are just blatantly saying, hey, we're going to incorporate a business model to this. Because most businesses have a board, and the SLPS has a board also, but they're elected officials and et cetera, et cetera. It's just a little different. These charter schools coming in, shaking things up. I think it's great for competition. You know what I mean? That's what the best will survive. You know what I mean? I mean, it is what it is. SLPS needs to, stop being stationary and get the moving, man. They can't sit still.
But here's the thing. They're moving in the wrong direction. Because when Clay Elementary closes this summer, I got my notes right here. I'm going to show you. When Clay Elementary closes this summer, 2 charter schools will be going up between that time and the fall of 2022 in that same zip code, in the same area.
Yeah.
Come on. You're giving the chance to make improvement to somebody else. But then you want to argue, well, we don't have this, we don't have that. Well, you just signed off on it. You signed off on it. And I'm going to say this in closing. Listeners, people of whatever community you in that you listening to us in, if you are not part of your child's education, part of the school, and part of the community, you're going to see this same situation happen. You're going to see the same situation. And that's all I'm going to say, because it disgusts me when St. Louis, major city, small city like St. Charles, has the same budget as SLPS. And St. Charles, Missouri, has less schools than SLPS. That's what I'm in with. You go ahead.
Hey, I look at it as like I say, competition is competition. And I mean, we in 2021 and education and business are intersecting at an all-time high as far as the prototype or the model of certain districts or schools that are thriving and flourishing. We have some public schools that are flourishing and thriving.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Every place has its issues. And the last thing, like I just spoke on, first thing you got to do is get rid of the internal division that exists everywhere in most buildings, because support staff are treated differently by these districts as opposed to the certifieds. And I'm not saying that support staff should have more than certs. I'm saying it should be more closely a little equal, particularly for those that have the same accolades. That's just my opinion, particularly for those that have the same accolades, because you can have folks that are certified in some of these places that are not motivated. And like I said, some of the factors that you got to think about, you got to have people there, not all, but some that have been in the buildings that these new children are in now. And I think you see a lot of success with that, with these school districts that are thriving. They got people who used to work there, who used to go to school there, working there now, and happy about it. And it has to be, everybody has to be happy. Each one of your branches of your company have to be happy. And it's hey, we might have to discuss this again another time, man. It's been great doing this with you. My apologies, Bambino, for the noise and the different the different, you know what I'm saying? We doing this from two different remote locations, so trying to click clack and connect, it be a lot, man. But I appreciate y'all. It's your boy Coach. Appreciate y'all. Highly educated. Another episode. I appreciate it, man. Bambino.
Hey, don't sign out just yet. This is just a closing remark. It'll be great to hear something positive about SLPS, about the education aspect, instead of always hearing about how good their basketball team is, how good this is, how good that is for sports. School systems are more than just the sports. The education comes first. The city doesn't need to hear that this school won state. Let's hear about the science department. Let's hear about the math department. Let's hear about something else. Please, let's hear about something more that will propel students more. Let's hear more about education and not about what's really going on about their sports. So, as you said, this is the Highly Educated Podcast, and if anybody wants to get with us and send notes or emails or articles they want us to review, the email is highlyeducatedSTLIL@gmail.com. Once again, that's highlyeducatedSTLIL@gmail.com. And I do not own the rights to this music, but I need everybody to get ready, because we got to be like the elevator, baby.
Hey, you already know, man. We definitely, we're very humbled, very appreciative. We thank you all for tuning in, and just bear with us as we conquer new heights. It's different every time we going through new, plateaus, and we reaching new achievements. Bear with us, because it's a learning curve for all of us, because Bambino has laboriously been pouring into all of just the Zooms and all of the technical stuff behind it. And you know, we trying to get everything together on, you know, Anchor, all of that. We trying to get everything together. So just bear with us. We appreciate y'all. I appreciate you, Bambino. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
I'm in
man,
all elements right now, baby. I'm outside. I'm in the
I
house. I'm
see,
everywhere,
I
dog.
see, I see. Hey,
He
we
said,
appreciate everyone. Like I said, hit the comment section, subscribe to us, and like I said,
subscribe. Hey, what Jay-Z said, I ain't never scared. I'm everywhere.
hey,
You ain't never there. Let me
I
stop.
just want
Look at
our
me.
listeners to understand we got to be like elevators, baby.
That's right.
Got to get up on out the situation.
You got to keep
Right?
rising.
Yeah.
Got to keep rising. Hey, we appreciate y'all. Tap in, tune in. We live and direct.
Signing out, Bambino.
Peace.
Peace.